Welcome to Homestead Reptile. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about eastern garter snakes. So I'm going to talk to you guys about why they are better than ball pythons. They're easier to care for ball pythons. And all around they're more intelligent, they have more personalities, and they have better coloration than ball pythons. And they just do. Trust me on that. I will show you some examples of some amazing garter snakes. They're just so much more fun than a ball python. I think ball pythons are boring. They're also a plus. They're up when you're up. So garter snakes are diurnal. They're up when you're up. Ball pythons are not, but ball pythons also don't have personality. So this little girl is 6 months old. She is an eastern garter snake. She has this pattern that is called diamondback, where her diamond patterns are going over the dorsal. So eastern garter snakes generally have a solid dorsal. Most garter snakes do, but you can see the diamondback pattern. So it's just an interesting mutation, just something fun. They are around in the hobby. There's just not a ton of them. So eastern garter snakes, first off, they are actually social. You need to keep them in groups. They love being around other garter snakes. You can even keep different species of garter snake together as long as you separate the sexes. So you say you have a male only tank and then you have a female only tank. You'll want to be careful about what species you're mixing with them. Eastern garter snakes are not the smallest species of garter snake, but they're around like the third smallest species of garter snake. So females top out around 23 to 26 inches. Males top out about 18, but I've seen males that are around 16 inches. They're not very big. So if you took a 18-inch adult male eastern garter snake and you put them in a male group of Lake Chipotle, I might be pronouncing that wrong, Lake Chipotle garter snakes, which are massive, it's not going to go well for him. It's not like they would purposely harm the little one. It's just they're much bigger, they're food aggressive, and there could be accidental cannibalism. That's something you do have to watch out. So you want to keep different sized garter snake species that are like majorly different away from each other, because that can happen. Like I said, they are social. They need to be kept in groups. And here are two of my this one Baja Blast that's really beautiful silver with the red spotting. Super, super gorgeous. But there are eastern garter snakes that are actually truly red, truly gorgeous. And ball pythons do not have any morphs that come anywhere near as stunning as eastern garter snake morphs. So we have red flames. We have blues, Florida blues and different blues. We have blacks. We have what I'm calling this guy a dilute black, which is a silver colored garter snake with red rusty speckling all over its body. That's red rusty speckling, which I would consider red, but not as red as like a true red. Is redder than you'll see in any ball python, and there are no blue ball pythons. So again, morphs, they have outstanding morphs and natural colorations that are much better than a ball python. Garter snakes are smarter than a ball python. They just are. They're very aware of what's going on. You can see how curious they are, and they're a lot more friendly and just more outgoing. So this little guy is Tiny Tim, and Tiny Tim is a unusual garter snake, a 1 in a 1,000 probably garter snake. So what he mostly has going on with him, so he's 6 months old, and I'll show you his 6-month-old brothers. He is probably suffering from dwarfism. So he is ridiculously small. He is 5 to 6 inches. He's a little difficult to measure, so he's around 5 to 6 inches. A newborn baby garter snake is around 5 to 6 inches. So he has not really grown since he was born. So he's gotten thicker around, but he's not put on any length at all. And I'll show you again his brother. So he's also has some other characteristics that kind of make me think dwarfism. So his eyes are very, very large. His face is very square and rounded off. He had 2 other brothers that were suffering from the same thing. Unfortunately, they did not make it very long, and that really sucks, but it happens when you have special need garter snakes or special need anythings. So this is his brother, Pyrite. So Pyrite is what I considered a kind of a high yellow eastern garter snake, but again, 6 months of age. You can see Pyrite's face is what a normal eastern garter snake's face look like. Longer nose, normal eyes. Now they do have big eyes. Eastern garter snakes and garter snakes in general have very large eyes, but Tiny Tim's eyes are much larger than his brother's eyes. And you can just see the major size difference, not just length, but girth. Now, they're not fully round, so they will top out at their max size at 1.5 years. And they're getting close to that. And you can see he has not grown any. So if, again, and I'll do another update on Tiny Tim in the next 6 months. If he doesn't grow any bigger, then I'm going to be very confident that he has some sort of like dwarfism going on. But I'll have to see as he ages. It's not like there's any tests I can do for him. So again, you can see Pyrite, that beautiful gold. Unfortunately, he's going to go into shed soon. I can kind of see that discoloration going on his body. But Fool's Gold is a gorgeous, gorgeous eastern garter snake. Tiny Tim is a beautiful eastern garter snake too. He has what people in the hobby call that diamond pattern or diamond back, where again their little diamond pattern goes over the dorsal and kind of disrupts it. It's really pretty. But Fool's Gold is a gorgeous snake as well. And again, you can find them, eastern garter snakes that look like that with the really gold bright colorations. But honestly, I love it. I think it's something that's really fun about him. And then I will show you his, this is Pyrite. I will show you Fool's Gold, his other brother that is even more yellow. Unfortunately, he is in shed too. Not full shed, not full gone blue, but it's very, very close. So we're going to take a quick look at little Tiny Tim again. So again, you can see that head, and we'll compare him again to his brother. You can see that head shape. It's just a little weird. You can see his eyes are very buggy, but he's a very active, good eater. He's actually a pig, and he's actually food aggressive. So he is a food bully. He will steal it out of his brother's mouths. So I have to be careful with him because I don't want accidental cannibalization. So he goes into a little container where I put his worms down, and he's very excited to eat, and he'll just grab them up like that. And Pyrite is trying to escape. I'm just going to grab the little dude right here. And you can see it's like they are not fearful. They know who I am. They're just really relaxed. They're just curious. They're extremely, extremely curious snakes. I will say one downside to eastern garter snakes and garter snakes in general. They are escape artists. You have to be very careful about their enclosures. You have to make sure there's no way for them to get out. I've been holding off on upgrading these guys because I didn't want to leave little Tiny Tim behind. Upgrading them to a larger tank because I would like them to have more space. But Tiny Tim, I've been waiting for him to put on size, and after 6 months, I have this feeling he's not going to put on much size. So I've been trying to figure out what's the best tank for him, and been watching his body language and how he gets around the tank to see if he's going to have any limitations. And it seems like he's not. My only limitation is going to be making sure he doesn't escape from an enclosure, because he's pretty much the same size as a newborn. So I'll probably upgrade these guys to a 15-gallon. And just see how they like that. I was thinking I wanted to get like a big 40 for them too, but the ones I've been looking at, I just think they'd escape from it currently. So this is Fool's Gold. And Fool's Gold is just a very, again, what I call a high yellow eastern. You can see a lot of that yellow between the scales and the blue and the black, and his really, really yellow dorsal. He's, unfortunately, again, looks like he's going through shed, so he's not as bright as he would be. You can kind of see that look on his body, especially on his head. But you can see he's honestly a gorgeous garter snake. So when he's fresh out of a shed, he's like stunningly bright, super gold sides, super gold dorsal, and he's just a beautiful, beautiful garter snake. And I think Fool's Gold is a perfect name for this guy. So his belly is generally out of a fresh shed. Is just super, super gold. He is a gorgeous, gorgeous garter snake, and I love his little pattern He's a beautiful boy. And this is, again, they're 6 months old, and you can just see how diminutive Tiny Tim is. So if this was interesting to you, if you want to learn more about eastern garter snakes, in general, that's something I'm super interested in, and I love them. Um, leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and I hope this was fun for you. Garter snakes are very fun. They're very interesting. They're social, they're great eaters, and you don't have to feed them mice. Eastern garter snakes don't really have a natural diet of mice. They're mostly a frog eater, fish eater, worm eater, snail eater, slug eater, amphibian eater. And will they run across a mouse every once in a while to eat them? Yeah, but again, remember that male eastern garter snakes top out at 18 inches. They're not taking down a full-size mouse. Now, if they stumbled upon pinkies, would they eat them? Very small pinkies, yes, but you can see the size they are now. They would never be able to eat a mouse. Especially young eastern garter snakes. I don't think it's a good idea to feed them a lot of mice until they're a lot bigger if you want to feed mice, but you don't have to. So again, like and subscribe, and tell me what you think.